Hi there, it is Ed, and welcome to episode 16 of the solo adventures of Anselm the Scout, using classic Traveler RPG rules. Last time, as you recall, Anselm was taking on the job from Director Cavalon, the director of the scout base near Hesia Prime, to find out who had been sending her and her family threatening messages. But before he could actually begin his investigation, a very angry scout named Frank showed up very unhappy with his upcoming assignment, and was going to express that displeasure to Director Cavalon in quite a violent way. Anselm, however, by some miracle, was able to restrain Frank, even though Anselm's really not the most physical character, was able to restrain Frank before the security detail could get there, take Frank into custody, and put him somewhere else, probably in a brig for a little while till he cools down. And that is where we rejoin Anselm. If you remember from the last episode, the whole scene with Frank was merely an interrupt scene. I didn't actually get a chance to start with the mystery that I had said we were going to do, so I kind of ended the episode right at the beginning of the scene, which is really odd. I understand that, but that's what I did. So anyway, we're going to continue on. So since that was the beginning of the scene, it was an interrupt scene, as it's called in Mythic, I'm not going to change anything about threads list, nor characters list, and going to keep the chaos factor the same. Right now our chaos factor is 6. If you remember last time, I did say this is a mystery, and I'm going to use the mystery matrix, or the specific variant of using Mythic to solve a mystery that comes from Mythic Magazine compilation number 1. It's also one of the other Mythic Magazine issues. Don't remember which one, because like I say, I get the compilations. Anyway, also last episode, you may remember that I said I wasn't sure when to use an investigation check or a discovery check. That's 2 different ways you can find clues using the mystery variation. Well, I remembered after the episode, wait, I actually am on a Mythic email list. Yes, Mythic still has an email list. And so now said, hey, when do I use these? What's the difference? I'm not sure when to use investigation, when to use discovery. And I got a reply from Tana herself. And Tana said that investigations are when you know what you're looking for. If you have an idea of what sort of question to ask Mythic, that's when you would use an investigation check. A discovery check is when you don't really know what you're looking for. You're just sort of doing a little bit of searching around, and you roll using the rules. So this would be Traveler rules. I would use a skill to earn a discovery check when I didn't know what I was looking for. If I earned the discovery check, then I would roll on the, I forget the name of the table. It is the mystery elements table, and that would either give me a clue or a suspect, depending on what I was looking for, and that would add to that. Tana said that she was afraid using normal Mythic rules, you might run into a dead end, and that's a good way to keep the mystery going. Anyway, I was very happy. Thank you, Tana, for sending that information and clarifying that for me, and hopefully now I can clarify it for someone else watching this who may be using the mystery rules. Anyway, so as I said, mystery is a specific thread on my Mythic list that I can only solve using the mystery variation. And to that end, as I showed you last time, we do have the mystery matrix. And since we know that the threatening messages have been coming to Director Cavalon from a Navy base, I have written down all of the people that worked at that Navy base as a potential suspect. So you have a spot, and I'll show you this again, and I'll try to put up a PDF or a image of this. But here we go. These are our clues, or not our clues, our suspects in the middle, and these are the clues all the way around the outside. And as you go through the mystery process, you will find clues, and you will link those clues to suspects. Whenever a suspect gets 6 clues, or if you roll a special event on the mystery elements table called a clincher clue, that is the thing that says, this is the person you're looking for, this is the end of the mystery. So that's the only way you can end a mystery, by getting 6 clues on one of our suspects, or finding the clincher clue. Okay? And I'll try to explain a little bit as I'm going what I'm specifically doing. Anyway, I did write down the crew members and the people that are stationed at this base. If you remember last time, I said it was going to be a Navy base, very small, and they are way out away from the rest of the civilization on Hesia Prime. That is kind of their security. Their remoteness is what helps them stay a little more secure. And also, oh, by the way, I should mention, somebody put a comment on the last video when I was trying to decide what kind of personnel would be in this base. I had security person. I'm like, well, I don't know if that really fits. I'm not sure that's appropriate. And this person said, how about a corpsman? How about a medical person? Because that would be the type of person they would have on this base. I think they said they were a corpsman, and nobody remembers them when they putting together the groups in RPG teams. So that's what we're going to have. I got rid of the security person, just changed, their name from security, or their job from security to medical. So thank you. So there we go. So right now we do have on this base, we have David Jin, the commander. We have Avery Fry, a pilot. We have Tara Jha, a pilot. We have Kia Daroka, a mechanic. We have Devin Pecan. Devin Pecan sounds like, I don't know, something you would find at like a snack. Enjoy those Devin Pecans? Well, yes, I am. Anyway, he's a mechanic. Gabriel Min is a mechanic. We have Hayden Lamas, which is comms officer, and Gabriel Copeland as our medical officer, the corpsman. All right, so that's who we have. So Anselm, now, after the whole Frank thing has happened, Director Cavalon says, please, see if you can find out how he's doing this. Anselm does go to a terminal. He has access to the files of these people, and he's going to do a little research into them and see exactly what he can find. So, normal Mythic is all the same, and we're just going to get started here. So, I think the first thing that Anselm is going to look for is, we know that whoever's sending these threatening messages is doing it on behalf of we're pretty sure it's coming on behalf of a nefarious group, or criminal enterprise, or a pirate enterprise, somebody that is outside normal legal imperial jurisdiction, or imperial legal law enforcement departments. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So it's somebody outside the government. It is a criminal group, and I think the first thing that Anselm will want to find is, does any of these people, any of the people at this base, do they have any sort of criminal record? Do they have a background? Do they have something? So let's just ask that as a fake question. I'm going to say it's going to be 50-50. I really don't know. But with our chaos factor of 6, that means a 65% chance or less that, yes, somebody here does have a criminal background. So who is that? 64. Wow. Almost. But yes, somebody here does have a criminal background. Let's find out who it is. Now, since we have them listed on this sheet, you can maybe tell that those are numbered, which means now to find out which one, I will just roll a 1d10. Actually, 1d8 right now. I don't have a D8 close. Let's roll a 1d10, and whoever I roll, that is the person who actually has a criminal record. So Anselm is there. He's typing, searching through all the records, all the background of all these people at this Navy base, and we find 5. And 5 is, Devin Pecan, the mechanic, has a criminal background. Let's see. I'm going to roll. Let's see what kind of criminal background it is, because that might help us figure out a couple of things. But let's see. Does it have specifically, would it have that? I'm not sure. Does it have specifically what the criminal background is in the personnel file? I kind of feel like it would. So I'm going to say that's likely. So that's a 75% chance or less that, yes, it does say what exactly he was. No, it does not. It does not. It just says there is a note that Devin does have a criminal background. So we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know if it was very minor, if it was something very large, but he does have a criminal background. So we're going to say criminal background. And I am writing this in the clue list. So right there in the first one, I've written criminal background in the clue list. And I'm also going to draw a line from that down to Devin. Just like that, so we can see we have a clue, and that clue is now connected to Devin. And also these boxes next to the suspect, I can keep a track of how many clue points or clues are connected to them. So that's 1 for Devin Pecan. All right, so he has a criminal background. We don't know what, but he does have some sort of criminal background. Excellent. I think another thing Anselm might look for is, do any of these people, are they in debt? You know, they can be maybe they're being bribed, maybe they're being given money, maybe they have an outstanding debt with some sort of criminal organization. They've run up gambling debts maybe, and they do have. I'm stumbling all over my word today. Forgive me. They have a large amount of debt. They have some sort of financial thing that might make them prone to taking money from somebody who had nefarious purposes. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's see, is that something he can find out? Would he be able to find that in personnel file? I'm going to say he can. I'm going to say, well, yeah, I'm just going to say he can. So I'm going to say that's a 50-50 chance. Again, I do not know, but again, at gas factor 6, 65% chance, 65% chance or less that yes, somebody here owes a lot of money or has a lot of financial problems. 48, yes. Yes, there is somebody that has financial difficulties. Who is that? Who has the financial difficulties? That is going to be 6. And that is Gabriel Mem. Gabriel Mem has some financial difficulties. So we're going to make a note of that. Financial difficulties. Okay. And we're going to draw a line there down to Gabriel. And add 1 for Gabriel. All right. Let's see, what else could he find out? Now, this may be the point where I need to start doing a discovery check rather than just an investigation check. So let's see. We know that Gabriel has some financial difficulties, so he might be prone to being influenced by somebody giving him large amounts of money. We also know that Devin has a criminal background, so maybe he would be have contacts in whatever criminal organization is trying to get these criminal transports, these convict transports going around the subsector. What else might Anselm look for? I sort of feel like maybe he would look for, does anybody... okay. Do any of these people have any family members or close associates that are currently incarcerated on Vilmork? Because maybe they are, quote-unquote, a low-level risk, low-level offender, and they're going to be moved off of Vilmork, and maybe they are trying to get them away, trying to help do a jailbreak. That is something he could maybe find out. So do any of these people have, like I said, a family member, associate who is incarcerated on Vilmork who might be transported in one of these prisoner transports? Let's see, again, 65% chance or less that yes, there is somebody. Let's see. What do we get here? 44. And it's a random event. Ha-ha. So we'll deal with a random event right after this. But first of all, yes, there is somebody who has a family member. Let's roll, see, is it a family member or is it associate? I'm going to say, again, 50-50. Is it a family member? No, it is not. So it's a very close associate. I'm going to say it's like somebody, maybe like a childhood friend. They have a childhood friend who is actually incarcerated on Vilmork. Who is that? Who has that? That's going to be a 6. Oh, that is Gabriel Mem again. So he has a friend on Vilmork. So yeah, things are looking a little dicey here for Gabriel. Gabriel now has 2 clue points. So we're going to make a note of that. He has 2 clue points. And just give you an idea of what my mystery matrix sheet looks like so far. That's what we've got. So 1 clue going down to Devin, 2 going over here to Gabriel, the mechanic. There we are. All right. So, and we have a random event. So let's deal with that. What is our random event? For this, because we're doing a mystery, we use a specific mystery event focus table. So what is this focus? Let's see. It is an 81. 81 means we are going to move away from a thread. Interesting. Now, this is something that I'm going to have to double check, because does that mean we move away from this specific thread or another thread that we have going on our adventure? Hold on while I find that information. So I don't find anything specific in the rules using Mythic for Mysteries that says this is moving away from the specific thread. Doesn't make sense that it would be the specific thread, because this specific thread is the one we're going to resolve right now using the system. So I feel like it's a different thread that we have they're going to move away from. So let me see, what is that thread? Looking at our threads list, we have Find Dead, Space Rocks That Aren't Takalon, The Contraband, Wiser Life in the Ravine, and Train Hormaz, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to roll a d10, and that's going to be a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why is there life in the ravine? Moving away from a thread. Okay, so to me that would mean that this is something that's happening off camera. Or remember we cut, and as Anselm sits there, types away, at the computer terminal, and I believe this is, late 70s, early 80s science fiction. He is him to change like reel-to-reel tapes. I think I've said that many times, but he's like changing those things, or maybe he has those Star Trek little plastic cube things or little triangles he's sticking in. Triangles, rectangles. Yeah, yeah. I just see it being very old version of new technology. Here's the other. He's typing a keyboard, and the computer's a lot of flashing lights, the real sad thing. But then you have a voice that says yes. He says, yeah, here we go. Computer, do any of these people have a criminal background? Affirmative. Devin Peacock has a criminal background. What is the nature of his background? Unknown. Anselm says. Do any of these people have financial difficulties? Flashy lights, flashy lights, flashy lights. Gabriel, man, has financial difficulties. Interesting. And do any of them have a friends or family that might be incarcerated in Vilmork? Flash, 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 flash. Affirmative. Gabriel Men has a childhood friend that is currently incarcerated on Vilmork. I don't know why I have to put my hand in front of my mouth when I say that, but that's what I'm doing. So yes, that is what's happening. Meanwhile, while that's happening, the camera turns. We slowly fade to the space around the first planet in the Zerazian system, the place that does have life teeming in this ravine. And we do see that now there are many more little probes, little more satellites that are monitoring this particular ravine on this first planet, and there are a few more fighter pilots, fighter craft that are patrolling this area to make sure nobody gets in. And have they sent their own people in there? I'm going to say I feel like it's very unlikely. For some reason, that's a 35% chance or less that yes, the Zerazian people have sent something down there, so people to figure that out. So let's see. No, definitely not. As a matter of fact, they didn't want anybody down there. They have cordoned it off. Nobody is heading down there. So yeah, and that is the random event that takes place somewhere different. That maybe Anselm will find out later. We don't know, but let me make a note of that. All right. And so I see, because also last time we rolled an event, and we know Simon, the diplomat who was trying to find the mind control device that we are pretty sure is down in the ravine, he is not happy about this. I can see Simon sort of looking. He goes by with maybe a new ship that he's commandeered, and sees the increased activity around the first planet, knows exactly what's happening, and doesn't even act like he's close. I can see him, clenching his jaw and saying, "Curse them." Anyway, go back to the mystery. There we go. So. Criminal background, financial difficulties, friend on Vilmork. What is something else that Anselm could ask about? This is really simple. I feel like this is not gonna. But are there any kind of, not like an IP address, but something that says? And I feel like they would have done this already, but well, no, because Director Cavalon said she didn't want the scout base to look like they were trying to do anything to tip off the person at the Navy base that they were trying to figure out who was doing this. But I think maybe, is there any kind of marker, any kind of date stamp, or any kind of anything that would say this came from a specific terminal at a specific time? Can he be that specific? Oh boy. I'm going to say actually that is that going to be a mythic question, or is that going to be a skill roll? You know what? I'm going to say that is going to be a mythic check, not a skill roll. But I'm going to say that it is very unlikely. As a matter of fact, I will say it's nearly impossible that there would be something like that to say, this is the time it came from, or this is the terminal it came from. Time maybe, but not exactly, where it came from. Can he be that precise? Let's find out. I'm going to say it's very unlikely, actually, like I said, nearly impossible, which means a 25% chance or less that, yes, we can be that precise. Can we be that precise? Ooh, that is kind of a skew, but either 30 or 70. Either way, not good enough. No, you cannot be that precise with this information. So, he does not get specifically where did it come from, or like an office or location. So, but he does have some more clues. So Anselm is now is when I'm going to use my mystery elements table to see, does he learn anything else? And that's going to have to be, so let me take a step back. So what I've been doing so far are investigation rolls, which means I kind of know what I'm looking for. I know what questions to ask. And it's just a yes or no, do these things exist? Now we're getting into discovery checks. And discovery checks you have to earn. And you earn that by using a skill, engaging in something. It could be, right now it's going to be computer use. It's going to be, Anselm searching through these files or whatever kind of information they have on their database. But it could be something like, I have to earn a way to question this person, and maybe I have to beat them into submission, so we'd have to do a combat. Maybe it is I have to get them drunk. Maybe it is I have to find the right person using a streetwise roll or something like that. So to actually get the discovery check, I have to do something to earn that. So we are going to do that. Anselm doesn't have computer use skill. He has electronics, he has gun combat, pilot, gunnery, vehicle, and jack of all trades, which gives him a 0 in that. So that's what we're going to say. And yeah, he's not sure. He's just looking for any kind of information that would let him know maybe who sent this, or yeah, just seeing if there's anything else from the computer files. Does he find anything? So first of all, we have to decide how difficult is that going to be. I'm going to say this isn't going to be super difficult. I'm going to say it's going to be an 8 or more. So if he can roll an 8 on the 2d6, he will find something. If not, then no. So does he find anything? And he rolls a 9. So yes, he does. Poking around, just randomly looking through some of the personnel files, Anselm finds something that piques his interest. Flash, 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 flash. And what is that? So now that he's done that, I get to roll on the Mystery Elements table. Mystery Elements table. This will bring up new clues, potentially could be new suspects, could link different clues to different people. So that is what we are going to do. So when I do that, I roll a d10. So let's see. I'm going to use, again, I'm looking for clues. So let's roll a d10. I rolled a 7. 7 is new linked clue. All right, so that means there's a new clue, and it will be linked to one of our suspects. So the new clue. Then we go to the mystery descriptors tables, and that is broken down into clues and suspects. And since I'm looking for a clue and have a new linked clue, we're going to roll 2 rolls, as always. See what the clue is, and then we'll decide who does it link to. So the first roll is a 93. That is valuable. Okay. So valuable. Valuable. 07. Art. Valuable art. Okay. Valuable art. Well, then that definitely seems like there's somebody who, valuable art. Valuable art. Maybe somebody recently received. There is a shipping notice. There is a manifest from the few ships that actually come into here, and it lists like a very valuable sculpture, a very rare, valuable sculpture that has arrived for one of the people on here from perhaps an unknown sender. Maybe like a bribe, one might think. Let's find that out. Is that what it is? You know, I'm just going to say that is what it is. It is a valuable piece of art that was sent randomly, which is kind of strange, a valuable piece of art being sent to this base. And it was sent directly to a person. Now let's find out, again, using our mystery matrix. Who was it sent to? 8. New person. That is Gabriel Copeland, who was our medical guy, our corpsman. So let's make a note of that. So received valuable art, and that is Gabriel Copeland, who now has 1 clue. All right. Yeah, I think so. Let me see. I'm going to roll to see if he finds anything else, because the rule with discovery checks, you can let me start again and use actual words. You can continue to make discovery checks as long as you don't get an exceptional no, or it makes no sense to continue going on logically in the story. Didn't get an exceptional no, so actually I just rolled and got that. So let me make sure I'm doing that right. Now that I've said that, it makes me doubt myself. Let me look. Okay. Okay, so I did that wrong a little bit. I've just realized. So you roll, if you succeed, then you say, is anything discovered, and then you make the mythic roll. So let's do that again. I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, he got that. It's a learning experience for everyone, right? Yeah, so first of all, he got that. Second, he's going to continue to just, like, look through the personnel files, the ship files, the base files. Does anything stand out? So let's roll for that. Again, 8 or more to see if he finds anything that makes sense. And that is a 7. So no, he does not find anything else. He does not get another discovery clue. Anselm has decided that he has kind of looked through the computer files. He has found out everything he can just looking at the files. And he realizes that he's going to have to go down to the base itself and actually question them or do a little snooping around on the base, maybe talk to them as an individual. He does go to Director Cavalon. He says, Director, I found some rather interesting information, and he imparts the clues that he's found about the criminal background, the friend on Vilmork, the valuable art, the valuable sculpture that has shown up, the financial problems that Gabriel is having. Gabriel Mem, I should say. There's 2 Gabriels, so Mem is having. He says, I really wasn't able to find out anything else. I do believe I'm going to have to go to this base and maybe question them carefully or do a little bit of research there on the base. And Director Cavalon is like, okay, yeah, that's going to be a little difficult because that base and us, we don't have necessarily the closest relationship, but there potentially is a way we could get you down there. Now I'm going to roll to see what is a way that they can potentially get him down there. And I'm going to do that by using some of the tables here in Mythic 2nd edition. I'm really liking 2nd edition, I have to say. I really liked 1st edition. And as I said in my review of Mythic, if you're perfectly happy with Mythic 1st edition, there's no reason to change, really. If it does everything you want it to do, keep using it. Actually, somebody mentioned that, yeah, they thought it was great for them. So, yeah, awesome. Keep going on. But I do like all the extra tables that come in Mythic 2nd edition. So, let's see. Character motivations, that could work. Let's see. A lot of this is going to be descriptors, and we could say this is why he's sent down there. Let's see. Do we have anything else? I don't really see anything. Plot twists? No. Starship descriptors? I think that's what it's going to be. I think we're going to say character motivations. I'm going to roll to see what kind of cover story do they give Anselm to arrive at this naval base and see he is a retired scout. So I'm sure he still has a certain amount of clearance. Maybe he can get a special clearance from Director Cavalon. Anyway, what motivation, what do they say he is going down there for? So let's see. 64. Mundane. Nothing to worry about. This is strictly a mundane visit. Nothing to worry your pretty little heads over. It is a mundane 10. A mundane character. Okay. This kind of goes against mundane character a little bit, but if you remember earlier when Anselm first arrived at the scout base, he was welcomed warmly and greeted with a lot of enthusiasm, both from the people that were there when Anselm was decommissioned, because if you remember way back in episode, I think 3, when we actually started doing the adventures of Anselm, he was decommissioned on Hesia Prime, and as I said, he did spend 5 terms in the scout service, which is a big deal. So he has a little bit of notoriety. He has a little bit of fame within specifically this scout base, maybe a little bit in the scouts all around, but specifically in this scout base. So the people that knew him were happy to see him again. The people that did not know him were impressed to meet him, excited to meet him and shake his hand and things like that. So maybe what they're saying is we have this, distinguished member of the scout service, a former member that is now just going to a few bases, just doing a basic tour. A very mundane reason. Not really a mundane character, but maybe a mundane reason. He is a very prominent ex-scout, and we want to extend him every courtesy. He is interested in potentially working with the naval branch now, bringing some of his scout experience to the Navy, and he wants to start by seeing this base. Maybe. And I'm going to say that the commander, David Jen, does say, okay, that's fine. I'm going to say, yeah, it's one of those things where because of the base, because of Director Cavalon's position, maybe because of David Jin, the commander of a very small base, maybe he kind of feels obliged to, even though he doesn't really want to. But he does, and he says, I have to think of a voice for him, but he says, yes, we would be more than happy to receive Anselm to our base, to let him sort of see our operations and how we do things. Just let him know, send us his ETA, and we will have everything ready for him. And Anselm quickly goes mech, jumps into the Raven, and heads off to the planet of Hesia Prime. And you know what? I think that's all the time we have for today. Keep it short and sweet. That's what we like. So thank you for tuning in and watching this. We will continue more of the Mystery Matrix once Anselm gets down to the planet side. He goes to this base, and we will see what kind of clues he can find in this mystery by actually being on site. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for tuning in. I always do appreciate it. Please feel free to hit like, subscribe, bell, all those things. I don't know if I'll get this out before Gen Con. If I do, I'm actually going to be at Gen Con this year, so I will probably do a video after Gen Con of like, this is what I did at Gen Con, and this is what I got, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Anyway, enough of that tomfoolery. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.